Digital innovation unit number 4. So let's review very quickly the assignment and what you had to do. So first we have in first question, using Porter's 5 forces, we were going to look at this innovation at HP, how they make the subscription model. So let's see how the 5 Porters work in this case. So we have, first of all, that all the forces have pushed them to have this innovation. Why? Because they have to offer the service in a different method that what other companies are currently doing. When we look at the threat of potential entrants, we already see that there has been a lot of entrants in the market from legit supplies from other companies, as well as fake products. So in this case, we have seen that they are facing a lot of pressure in that sense. There has been also a lot of online suppliers of cartridges as well as any other components for the printers. And that is something that the printer companies are really struggling with. Yes, they have the main product, but when it comes to consumables, which is actually, consumables is the best business for all this printing industry, is disappearing again because of that. And this is precisely, again, goes together with the bargaining power of buyers. Buyers nowadays have so many options to buy online, all the cartridges, all the tools, all the paper, etc., that in the end they can very quickly shift to other companies. So how to retain them? So in this way, we come with this innovation that somehow offers more value to the consumer and keeping retaining the container, the customer next to us, right? In this case, like I said, we have the power and power of suppliers. In this case, also what they are trying to do with this business is trying to stabilize their supply line. For them, whoever supplies them for the ink, the plastic, etc., and all the components that build the cartridges, they need to stabilize it, because in the end, if they have a surplus or they don't have the right numbers, suppliers stop working with them and start to work again with other competitors or so. So in this case, it's also part of stabilizing the supply chain. So it's a method of keeping the supply constant. Now, how are the internal resources or strengths helping to develop this strategy? For the same, HP already has the expertise on building the cartridges, they already have the expertise on the distribution, they already have the expertise on getting to understand how often these cartridges should be changed, and all this knowledge that leads to understand how the market will probably could behave. So that is a strength that they have in that. They have the numbers, they have the reach, and of course, consumers always are willing to go for original products as long as they deliver value. But the moment is when a certain when a certain product doesn't deliver value, or is too expensive, people search for alternatives. And that is precisely when we look, for example, at the business model of subscription. That is what's looking for. The same case as Netflix. You want to buy one movie, that can become very expensive. They come with a solution, subscription, constantly with subscribers, a lot of subscribers. The customer base expands, and that means that what we can do now is use those payments of that customer base to get more movies, or in this case, make the cost of the cartridges cheaper. So internal weakness you think HP needs to address in order to make the strategy? Well, internal weaknesses also we have that they have not done this system before, and of course there's failures in the beginning for this system. Initially this system has initially had some issues in terms of the distribution, but nowadays, I mean, through trial and error, they have made it better. Now, possible core rigidities HP has compared to other small companies, the same thing. Small companies have that ability to also supply these cartridges in a more efficient way at better prices, and in the end they can even cannibalize their own prices, small companies, and they are more flexible to it. In the end, here what the strength is, and we go back to the third one, is that some of these fake cartridges sometimes spoil the machines. So original cartridges, what they do is, again, in terms of quality, in terms of delivering constant quality, is what really works well for them. And in this case, that rigidity also is the problem, that because they supply with so much quality, although they supply a lot, their prices are not as competitive as the small suppliers. So possibly strategic intent of HP, well, it's changing the business model. That's the strategic intent. In the end, like I said, printers have faced many phases and stages. First of all, it was like those big printers, they have a rent model. Actually, it's very funny because this system, Xerox started with it. Actually, they supply you the ink, they supply you the paper, and you had a membership with them. But it was for big offices. So what they have done in this case, what HP has done, is the other way around. Try to do this kind of service, but now also for small individuals and as well as companies. So trying to address the use, the amount of use that you're using. I think it's a great business model, this strategic intent, because in the end it's changing the way that traditionally we consume. And again, the way that we consume has been changing very constantly throughout the digital era. So anyways, in this case, your opinion, it might be different from mine, but in the end, question number 5 is very open. Hope you've been doing well. Thanks everyone for submitting your assignment. I think you did a great job, and if you have any further questions, please let me know.